Hello Internet, and welcome back to Financial Journey. My name is Alex, and I'm back, bringing you the financial education that I never received growing up. A few years back, I really started delving into the basics of personal finance. And one of the first things that I learned continues to be one of the most simple, and yet the most incredible: the sheer power of compound interest. Before I get into exactly what compound interest is, I want you to consider, what does it take to retire a millionaire? Today, we're going to answer that very question. Now, $1 million may not buy what it used to, but most Americans, myself included, would really like to one day wear that badge of honor. So what does it take to get there? Or is this simply a pipe dream, where only the trust fund babies really have a chance? Let's run the numbers. In 2018, the US Census Bureau reported the highest ever median household income of just over $61,000. This is based on 2017 data. Over a 45-year career, let's say age 20 through 65, that family would make just over $2.75 million, assuming a constant salary. Now, that is a lot of money, but if that family was just trying to save in order to become a millionaire, they would have actually had to actively save more than 36% of their total lifetime and pre-tax earnings in order to have $1 million by age 65. Now, that goal may seem unrealistic and in fact, just unobtainable. For most people, yeah, it is. It's just not reasonable to save that much of your income, particularly for that long, and more so if you're already living paycheck to paycheck. So then, is that it? Is the dream dead? Absolutely not. What I have here is a very simple secret that can allow virtually anyone, regardless of their income, to retire a millionaire, saving far less money. The secret to millionaire wealth, as you've probably already deduced, is investing for compound interest. When you invest your money, what you're really doing is putting that money to work for you. They say that time is money, and that is absolutely true, particularly when it comes to investments. However, with your investments, it's not your time being spent. When you invest, your money can spend its own time making you even more money. There are two types of interest: simple interest and compound interest. And though they are similar in concept, there are some key differences. Simple interest is based on the initial balance of the investment, while compound interest bases the interest on the current value of the investment, including any interest that is already accrued. Let's take a look at a practical, albeit exaggerated, example in order to explain. Let's say you loan me $100 and I agree to pay you back an extra 10% for each day that it takes me to pay you back your investment. If this were simple interest, well, 10% of $100 would be $10 in interest per day. So tomorrow I'd owe you $110, the day after $120, a week out it would be $170, and all the way out at the end of the month it would be $400. Now don't get me wrong, that's great. In 30 days you'd have quadrupled your money, with 3 times your initial investment coming from the interest alone. On the other hand, with compound interest, the interest will compound each day as the loan balance will have changed. So in this same example, if I were to pay you compound interest, tomorrow it would be the same $110. The day after, instead of paying $120, I'd actually owe interest on the $10 of interest that I didn't pay the previous day. Therefore, I'd now owe you $121. Now, This is only $1 more than we saw with simple interest. But we're only 2 days out, and this difference is just going to expand, or compound as you will, over time to what I believe will be levels that truly will surprise you. At a week, rather than $170 as we saw with simple interest, I would now owe you $195. Now, before I tell you what the value would be if we compound interest all the way to 30 days, I want you to take a moment, pause the video if you have to, and go down to the comments section and tell me what you think the total would be for this $100 investment at 10% compound interest per day at the end of 30 days. Alright, now that you've left your guess, if you underestimated or this true value surprises you, I need you to go ahead and hit the like button and let me know that you learned something from this video. At 30 days, your $100 investment would be worth more than $1,700. That means that the interest gain is more than 5 times what was gained with this simple interest, with more than 90% of this final value coming directly from the work your money did for you. I hope this makes it clear just how incredibly powerful compound interest can be. Now, simple interest can also be great, and for those of you that have simple interest paying securities, things like bonds, if you actually reinvest the money that you're making in simple interest, it too will effectively be making compound interest. Realistically, however, you're not going to make a 10% daily return in the real world, at least not for any long-term strategy. Let's take a look at compound interest using more realistic numbers. Over its history, the US stock market's S&P 500 has averaged just shy of a 10% annual return with dividends reinvested. If you were to invest in assets that simply keep pace with the market, how much would you need to invest in order to have $1 million by retirement at age 65? While these numbers change drastically depending on how long your investments have to grow, something that I'll discuss at greater length in another video, here we're going to stick with that 45-year period from age 20 through 65. At a 10% average annual rate of return, and the answer may surprise you, you would need to save just $3.50 per day to have $1 million at age 65. That is just $1,277.50 per year, which comes to just over 2% of the median household income that we discussed from 2017. At that rate, your total investment over 45 years is less than $60,000, meaning more than 94% of the total account balance is from the compound interest and asset appreciation. Wow. Now, an important caveat here is that this does not actually account for inflation. So this would not have the same buying power that $1 million has today. Inflation fluctuates year to year, but normally falls between about 2 to 3%. At least that's what the Fed says that they're currently targeting. Even if we're conservative here and assume a 3% annual inflation rate, you would need just $2.6 million in future dollars in order to have the buying power that $1 million has today. You'll probably note this $2.6 million number is very close to the total lifetime earnings from the median household income that we discussed earlier. So what would it take to have $1 million in today's money at age 65? Instead of $3.50 per day, you would now have to bump that all the way up to a whopping $9 whole a day. Let that sink in. As you can see, trimming even the smallest amounts from your budgets, when invested for the long term, can accumulate into truly incredible wealth. Wealth that most people probably never thought it would be possible to achieve. Some people have dubbed such a phenomenon the latte factor, where something as simple as making your coffee at home versus purchasing at Starbucks or your favorite coffee shop can alone make $1 million difference in your retirement account. Now, whether it's really worth your time to change your habits over every small purchase, rather than focusing on the big wins such as a higher paying job or ensuring your housing is affordable, is a topic for another video. But we all have expenses that we could cut in our lives. It is incredibly important to note that this does go both directions, and that is part of the reason why credit card debt, let alone something as high interest as payday loans, can so quickly spiral out of control. The great Albert Einstein said it best: compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. Thank you for watching this video. If you learned something new, please hit the like button down below and leave me a comment to let me know what questions you have or what other topics you'd like to hear more about. If you like the information contained here, please share this video and consider becoming a subscriber to continue this financial journey together with me. Ring the bell to be notified or check back soon for new videos. I'll see you in the next one.